Hello and welcome to the Perth Blue Baggers pod. My name is Louis, your host.
And I'm Marty on special comments.
So today we will be reviewing the opening round clash and another disappointing performance to start off a season. Let's get straight into it. It's not going to be the brightest episode, I imagine, but we'll see what we can do.
Well, it's a bit hard to be. Let's start from the top. It was a really solid first quarter. We came and brought the pressure and really dominated that first quarter. And I'm going to come back to that because I think there's a problem too when we dominate with putting the score on the board. But we dominated that first quarter and we definitely had the better of the second quarter too. And it was the third quarter, obviously, and the fourth. That third quarter was up there with the second quarter against North Melbourne last year in the worst quarter of football I've seen the Blues play in probably a decade. And I've seen us win wooden spoons. That was wooden spoon football. That's what that was. That was us like witches' hats that they ran around us. And if you want evidence of that, 38 tackles for the entire game for the whole team.
So abysmal.
So that second half fade out, it was every fade out last year but worse this time. It was atrocious. This was pretty much unwatchable. It was that bad. And you don't need to just ask me. There's the stats themselves. I think 75-point quarter.
I can go into it. Let's say we conceded 12 goals. There was 108 disposals to them to our 56. Inside 50s was 24 to our 11. Contested possessions was 40 to 30. And overall, a 22-plus lead 10 minutes into the third quarter turned into a minus 39-point deficit going into the fourth quarter.
It was just an avalanche. And I think there's some serious questions here. Let's start in the first half, though, right? In the first half, yes, it was good. We brought the pressure and we dominated a lot of it. But how much did we actually score?
We should have been more efficient, yes. But there was a different look towards trying.
Look, it was a good quarter, but we scored a grand total of 2 goals. In a quarter, we absolutely dominated. And that is part of the problem.
So if they keep up their defence and keep, sort of trailing behind marginally, then they could possibly break us open once
a team knows that all they need to do, even if we're dominating, is to hang in there because so often we win the contested ball, we win in the contest, and we don't hurt our opposition.
Yeah.
And that's what happened in the first half. We just did not hurt the opposition. We should have been up by 5 or 6 goals. Maybe we still lose, just with how bad that third quarter was. But you've got to make it count when you're winning quarters.
Yeah.
And we did it, really. We had a 10-point lead at the half after having the better of the half, most of that half, by a mile. So, and if you look at the stats differential, you'll see that we really dominated that.
Yeah.
But we just didn't put the score on the board. And the disappointing thing is we showed lots of signs in both those 2 preseason matches that we could.
Yeah.
We get
so much hope.
Get to our opening round, we can't, particularly in that second quarter, like the fumbling and the dropping of the ball and, time and again in that forward line, we just dysfunctional.
Yeah, it was ugly watch as well.
So that was the first half. But the second half, when we don't win the contested ball, we just right for the picking.
Yeah.
Really, because we don't want to chase. We don't want to run both ways. And if you look player after player, you'll see the drop-off in terms of their effort, the metres gained, the tackles, the possessions in the second half. It's there for everyone to see.
There was
most players
one midfield that did well in the third quarter, and that was Sam Walsh.
Sam Walsh was pretty much the only guy that performed well in the second half. The one other guy who performed pretty well in the second half was actually the debutant Jagger Smith. He had 13 touches in the second half. 9 in the last quarter. But it really is nothing else. No one else got more than 10 positions in a half of football. No one except Walsh and Smith.
Yeah. And what was I gonna say? Uh,
If you had a half of football played and your leading position getter, now when it's only two people had more than 10 positions, you would be flogged too.
yeah. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So the onus should be on the midfield, not the defenders.
Well, look, yes and
They
no.
let them down. There's only so much
look,
you can do.
were definitely, you're right. The midfielders needed to produce a lot more, run back and get back in numbers, and also they got sucked into the contest too much.
Yeah.
So whenever we don't win the contested ball, we're really exposed. But there were some one-on-one efforts in defence that were really disappointing too.
Yeah, for sure. Lewis Young, a bit of
Well,
a culprit there.
He couldn't spoil a bomb that went straight up and down. It should have just been punched over.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's is that all we got for the analysis?
Oh, well, I mean, there really ain't a lot of more to
We
say.
don't want to delve into it much more. It's painful to talk about because it's so repetitive. We've spoken about the same issues all last year, and then to have it start up straight away when there was so much hope created in the preseason, it's so annoying.
The last thing I'll say is this. When a team is running over the top of you, what changes are you making? You've got a team of coaches, not just the one guy. Whole team of coaches. What are they doing? Errol Gwilden is having 12 touches in a quarter, one quarter alone, and Heaney 13. So there are 25 touches between them in a quarter. They're carving us up. What are we doing? Did anyone go to those players?
Goodness knows. Didn't look like it.
Well, and there's no work put into them. So it really was just, what's happening in your match day coaching as well when you're getting slammed by 75 points in one quarter alone.
And these assistant coaches were meant to make a big difference. I wonder. Anyway, let's go into our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 votes.
Oh, well, look, this was really hard work apart from a couple of obvious ones. Look, Sam Walsh was our best on ground for me, clearly. Mm-hmm. He was sensational and he fought hard all through the game, the whole way through. It's great to see Guy signs a long-term contract really starting to deliver. I shouldn't say start to deliver. He's a quality player. And we discussed this in the season preview. I think he's a quality player. We picked him to win the best and fairest, and he's on track after one game because he certainly was the best player, and he was consistent across the board. He won a lot of the footy in difficult situations, and he was explosive and used it. And so, I mean, he's definitely, for me, the pick. And on most indicators, he's come out a long way on top.
Same with me. Yeah, I've got Sam Walsh at 5. Should we go through his stats quickly?
Yep.
32 disposals, 13 contested possessions, 8 score involvements, 19 pressure acts, 696 metres gained, 6 clearances, 9 inside 50s, and 9 ground balls.
Certainly in the second half, he was playing different to everyone else pretty much on the team.
Yeah.
Jagger Smith, would you believe, an AFL debutant, first game of AFL football, for me, 4 votes. He was sensational. How good is this kid, really? In what was a very disappointing game, he still shone. And I think that he would be a particular source of optimism for Blues fans. And he's got to be a chance of the Rising Star award for this round.
Yes, they'll come out.
27 touches
tomorrow
in his first game.
Yeah, surely. So you got him at 4. I've got Pito at 4 and Jagger at 3. So talk about Pito maybe.
Yeah, no, I had Pittman at 3, so not that different. Because I reckon I had 3 players I think that really deserved to win the votes, but I struggled a bit after that.
Yeah.
So I kicked 3 goals, would you believe?
Somehow.
And really, that one he kicked out of the pack just was unbelievable. So, and look, I don't think it's just the goals. I thought he competed really hard. I thought he threw himself around. There wouldn't be too many games where he gets 18 touches either.
Yeah, he had 8 clearances as well, 5 score involvements, 6 ground balls, which is surprising for a ruckman, 6 ground balls, and 89% disposal efficiency too, which we'd like to see.
Yeah, really good player. So, I mean, I thought those three were the standout for mine.
Yeah.
There. I think I struggled a little bit after that. I thought Ollie Florent, I've given him 2. He was pretty good in his first game for the Mighty Blues. He was probably a bit better in the first half than the second half. He was one of those players that did gain a lot of metres, that took on his opponents and really moved us forward. So I thought he showed a fair bit, so I give him 2.
Okay. Decent, yeah.
And one, the other debutant, I thought Harry Dean was pretty good, and I just like the way he competes. He competes. So he was pretty good. I wouldn't say he was at Jagger level, but it's pretty hard to be. And I thought he really threw himself into a lot of contests and probably deserves the 1 vote in my view.
Yes, fair call there. So for my second 2 votes, I've got Cooper Lord. He had a stronger first half than second half though. So he had 26 disposals, 5 score involvements, 408 metres gained, 7 inside 50s and 5 ground balls. So really showed his worth there.
Just on Lord, look, I thought he was great in the first half, but I wasn't that excited about his second half.
That's the problem with these votes.
This is a big deal because I want players to be standing up when your team's not doing well. And there wasn't many. Don't want to single out one player because he had a great first half, but like lots of others, we didn't see as much in the second.
Yeah, fair cool. And they got Ben Ainsworth for 1 vote. 14 disposals, 86% disposal efficiency, 5 score involvements, 2 goals, and 3 inside 50s.
Yeah.
So good first game in navy blue for him. And so quickly go
that
through.
goal he kicked on the run was sensational.
Yes.
But what it showed, we were actually really struggling to find out. We were winning lots of the footy at the time, right?
Yep.
Dominating the midfield, but we just, again, that going inside 50 already was a problem at that time. He steams to about 55 and unloads a massive bomb and is bounced in the vacant goal square and rolled through. And it was it was pretty welcome respite. I think there was probably a few Blues fans getting frustrated already by that stage.
I certainly was, yes. So quickly go through the stats of players we've mentioned. So Ollie Florent, 22 disposals, 7 marks, 11 intercepts, 464 metres gained, 5 rebound 50s and 8 ground balls. Who was the other one? Harry Dean. That's right. 14 disposals, 6 intercepts, 4 rebound 50s, 7 1%ers and 4 ground balls. Those are good stats for a key defender there. What did you make of Elijah Hollins?
I was delighted to see Elijah out there, and I know how hard he's worked to get back in the team, and I really want to see him have a big year. But whilst he won the ball and won contested balls at times, his ball use wasn't great.
53% disposal
Turned the ball over too often for mine.
Zach Williams, I think, also a bit of the same issue.
Yeah, same issue for me.
16 disposals, 12 contested possessions, 7 intercepts, 21 pressure acts, 6 clearances, 4 rebound 50s and 9 ground balls. Sounds good on paper, yes, and he was playing a bit of defence and midfield there. But yeah, if you look at his efficiency, if it was 59%. So that's, and a few turnovers too. Yeah. So that's that for the player votes. Let's get into the preview of round 1 against Richmond.
Well, look, this is a must-win game, given how poor that second half was. I think there's a lot of pressure on. I mean, I'd rather they just go out there and not try to dwell on this too much, because if you worry too much about second half fade-outs, they become self-fulfilling, where you're not playing with confidence.
Yeah.
During those 2 pre-season matches, yes, and we all know they're only pre-season, but they moved the ball with confidence. They were backing themselves in. They were going back into the corridor and hitting targets.
Yeah.
And they found ways to score, and we have to find ways to score this coming week. That's going to be really crucial. The Tigers are a young team. The Sydney are gearing up for a top 8 finish. We expect that. Tigers and not nowhere near that. So
We should be exposing them in their
we
defence.
should be exposing them in their defence, but we've got to use the ball quickly. Got to move the ball quickly, move it well, and move it well inside 50. So we saw plenty of that earlier in sort of the preseason. So they've got to get back to that kind of form, I think. And if they can put that young defence on the pressure, I think they'll perform well.
Yeah.
We just need 4 quarters of quality footy.
Yeah, true. It's not panic stations yet. There's only been one game.
No.
But if we were to lose this one, it would be terrible. The media criticism, the fan embarrassment, it would be through the roof. So yeah, it would be a reason for concern if we see the same sort of issues that we saw last week into this game too. Just like last year. We don't want a repeat of last year against Richmond.
No. Well, so that's last year we thought we're set up well. It was those, I think was it 4 games, the first 4 games we lost last year.
Yeah, 0-4.
That just poured us right on the back foot for the whole season.
Yeah.
So that's why it's an important one. But play with confidence. Let's see some of that footy we played against Brisbane and Geelong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absorb the pressure from the midfielders. Onus is on the midfielders. That's the way you're going to beat Richmond.
Yeah, I think
through
that
there.
if they can, and we found multiple ways to goal. Ainsworth and Haywood and whatever, they were up and about, and some of those players were up and about in the first half. We just didn't see a lot of them in the second half. So that was the problem really. There's quite a few players. I don't want to single out players, but if you look at the actual, there's a multitude of players here that really didn't appear after half time much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so you need 4-quarter efforts from all the players too.
Yeah.
Don't drop your head. Keep up the motivation.
So
Yes.
I don't think you can take the Tigers for granted. They showed a lot last year. I thought particularly early in the first half of the season, they were very competitive. They'll be competitive this coming week. Don't worry about that. The Blues will need to bring the A game to win.
One last thing before we get into predictions. Did you see Sam Doherty's comments?
Yes, I did. Look, I thought that he kind of built the cat. He kind of, as fans, we saw all these things. We were wondering whether the players were realising the same things. And here we saw, one of Colton's favourite sons who played, most of last season. And so, he knows the playing group really well. He's a very respected player. And he basically sort of said something similar.
Yep.
That, we win the contested footy. We don't really hurt opponents. When we don't win the contested footy, there's no plan B. We get sucked in the contest too much. We're getting exposed on the rebound and on turnovers. Yeah,
He said that was a polite way of how he said it because he coupled it with a few swear words.
He was feeling it. And the thing I love
I
about
think it was
Doc,
framed though by Dan Gorringe a bit.
probably
It wasn't
probably absolutely.
meant to be publicised.
I've
like
not
that.
seen the full conversation, but one thing I always loved about Doherty is he always plays with a jumper.
Yeah.
And he's always been passionate.
He's
And-
one of us now.
Oh, absolutely. No,
He's
he's
just like a fan.
very, very passionate, and you saw that come through. And I saw plenty of frustration in Doherty last year, I think.
We went to an event and with Cripper and Doc was like that. He was quite honest.
You
in
can
that
see his
event.
frustration.
It was similar to what you saw in that Dan Gorringe interview, actually.
Yeah.
So once he's got out of the club, no media constraints.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, he wasn't actually
Right.
intending any of that to become public, and
yeah.
that shouldn't have been. Gorringe did the wrong thing there.
Yeah. Anyway, but it just confirms that the players probably are aware of the same issue. And if they are, surely the coaches are. Voss has had a whole pre-season to think about it, how to deal with it. But I guess until you see real game pressure, you can't make any changes.
Yeah, well, this was the first. I know we've, like I said, they had those pre-season matches, but it was under the fire of the actual match play that it really matters, I think.
Exactly. So let's finish off with some predictions. So, who do you think will star, and how much will we lose or win by?
Oh, look, fingers crossed we get over the line here. Like, it's a bit hard to be confident. I'm going to pick us by 9 points.
I've never been this not confident going into a Richmond game.
Look, unfortunately, Richmond's actually won most of the time against us. It's only very recently when they've been really lousy we've had a couple of wins. But even last year, that when we should have smashed them, they did us.
Yeah.
I'm not especially confident, but let's pick them by 9 points for me.
Yeah, a cautious 15 for me, I reckon.
Yeah, so neither of us are expecting...
it won't be a perfect game. It won't be.
But look, this is the thing. If you're taking steps as a team, you should be able to rack up a decent win against a lower ranked team.
Yeah.
Because that does show that you can hurt them if you're winning on the contested footy, if you're getting a lot of the ball. So the onus is on the team to really show that they can score. And really show
if I was the players, I'd be taking it as a point to prove rather than a safe bet game.
Right? Absolutely. And
take it as a point to prove, show your worth, show that all of the preseason hype is correct. Really take it as an opportunity to silence the critics.
So I think that there's a golden opportunity here. Let's see how they go with it.
Yes. Anyway, so...
one final point to make. And once again, we started the season with about 7 or 8 of our best 22 not taking the field. How many seasons in a row do we see this happen? Right? So the injury list going into that opening round, right?
Quite extensive.
Chera, hamstring. Cottrell, knee. Evans, knee. Haynes, ankle. Motlop, knee. Nick Newman, suspended. Harry O'Farrell, knee. I think Billy Wilson might have played 2s, did he, in Magoos? Cowan wasn't ready for the 1s.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a third of your team, more than a third of your team, that cannot front up. And you have not played a round of football yet. You've not played round 1, not played opening round, and a third of your best 22 can't take the field.
Are they going into pre-season too hard too, is a question.
I just don't know. This
Moss
seems to
training
happen
too hard
every year, I don't think on that list I mentioned Matt Carroll. Matt Carroll's another one who was not ready for the
Might have scrolled down and see if they were playing that VFL practice match.
So
no.
So that's like, I don't know, is it 9 or something? There's a lot of players, and I mean some of these guys are a bit borderline, right? But most of them are your best 22.
Yes.
Right, and they're not available in opening rounds.
Yeah, we've also got the issue where it's a completely different team to round 24 last year. It's 12 different players from the 23 that took part, which it means it is hard to judge. And I know we're being quite critical here, but I think it's needed because it was such a terrible game. But yeah, it's not the end of the season, obviously.
Yeah, well, look, you don't want to panic, get and freak out. It is only one game of football, but you just wouldn't want to see that third quarter, again.
Yeah.
One thing you expect is effort.
Yes. And 38 tackles is not going to cut it.
That doesn't show enough effort.
We didn't even talk about that enough, I reckon. Should have really ripped into them.
I think
for
that was
that.
like one of the lowest ever efforts in tackles in the last decade.
For Carlton?
Yeah, for Carlton.
Well, I'll tell you what, for a team that is meant to be based off contest and pressure, we did not show that in that third quarter.
So our 38 tackles were the 6th lowest number of tackles. So only 5 occasions in the whole last decade.
Wow.
Of football.
Jesus.
So, that goes to show there's a bit more work needed. There's a bit more effort needed for round 1, fellas.
Yes, I hope they're training their tackles this week as well. Yeah, so they'll do us for whatever episode this is. I don't know. I can't remember. But make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram at Perth Blue Baggers Pod, and also the parent account Carlton Flaggers 2026. It would mean a lot. It's free, easy to do. And also, we're on Spotify now, so I don't know whether you're going to be listening to this on YouTube or Spotify, but make sure you follow on the respective areas. So, thank you for tuning in. Up the Baggers.
Calm the Blues.